The 4 pillars of entrepreneurship: passion, performance, pain, killing, and price. Let's talk about price. If you don't invest, what's your backup plan? You're going to hope for your local 401k, you're going to hope for your IRA to come through, buy and hope, maybe visit Vegas. You need an investment plan. You need a financial plan. College loan debt right now exceeds credit card debt. The savings rate is less than 4% versus 7% traditionally and 12% in Europe. What if the unspeakable happens?
You're fired! You're fired! You're fired! You're fired! You're fired!
Goldman says over half the present retirees are not in any shape to retire. People continue to work until they're now an average age of 73. Graduating seniors, you have over $1.2 trillion in education debt. 75% of households are living paycheck to paycheck. Why don't people invest? Why don't people have a financial plan? Because they copy the previous generation's actions. They buy 55-inch plasma TVs until they're sick. They buy $80 concert tickets. And they're required to think for themselves, and they can't do it. There are 4 aspects of investing: compounding, understanding asset allocation, understanding time frame, and doing it. To understand compounding, let's understand a round of golf. Say we bet 10 cents a hole, and I'm a very bad golfer. On each hole after that, we're going to double the amount. So on the first hole, we're going to bet a dime. The second hole, we're going to bet 20 cents. Then the third hole, we're going to bet 40 cents. So on the 6th hole, we'd be up at $3.20. Okay, manageable. Well, on the 9th hole, I'm losing my wallet, which is $25.60. On the 17th hole, I'm writing a check for $6,500. On the 18th hole, I'm going for a second mortgage on my house of around $14,000. That's the element of compounding. Compounding is having money earn money over itself. If we invest $4 a day, after 19 years, we'll have roughly $110,000. After 50 years, we'll have $9.6 million. After 70 years, we'll have close to $160 million. It requires the consistency of putting 10% of your paycheck away each week, paying yourself first, and remembering Ted Johnson. Ted Johnson was a UPS driver, not UBS, but UPS, United Parcel Service. He put away 10% each week and retired with $68 million in his account and was the largest donator to the local university. You can be that Ted Johnson. It requires asset allocation. Understanding 3 buckets: fund, security, and growth. You deposit 10% of your salary into the security and the growth bucket. I don't care what the allocation is. It could be 70% security and 30% in growth if you're somewhat older, or oftentimes youth does 70% in growth and 30% in security. All you have to do is keep the asset allocation. When you have an event, maybe a stock doubles or you sell something, I'd like you to deposit 1/3 of those winnings back into the security bucket, into the fund bucket, and into the growth bucket. And you only buy things for fun out of the fun bucket. You don't rob from the other 2. That's how you win. 4 rules for starting. Spend less than you earn. Don't be the U.S. government. Invest 10%. Normally that's a higher end, but it's a nice number. If you can invest more, that'd be great. Try not to make it too much less. Reinvest all the dividends and any other elements you may get back from a company for the investment. And maintain your asset allocation through the life of that investment. 9 steps to not becoming wealthy. You never define what wealth means. There's no definition. Some days it wants to be enough for a cup of coffee, another day it wants to be enough to own a boat. You're irrational and you're moving the goalposts. Oftentimes I ask entrepreneurs when they will stop, and they'll say, well, when I have $5 million. And then when they have $5 million, they'll say, I want $50 million. You're irrational. You keep moving the goalposts. You will never end. Well, oftentimes entrepreneurs never start investing. If you never start, you will never become wealthy. It's not a must, it's always a should. Psychologically, you'll have a list of shoulds. I should lose weight. I should get to investing. I must get a raise. I must get a new car because this one's breaking down. Until you move that should into the must column, you'll always be shoulding all over yourself. Ba-dum-bum. People don't follow a plan. One day they'll invest in Google, the next day they'll invest in bonds, and they'll just all over the map. There's no plan. You need a plan, not just to say you have a plan, but you need a plan to evaluate. You need to look back and say what did well, what did poorly. People tend to listen to experts. They buy in hope a lot. An expert normally does not configure a plan just for you. You need to look at it and say, this works for me. I need to own this plan because I'm the one that's going to execute it and live it. People give up when they're challenged. We're going to lose money sometimes. Goldman loses money sometimes. You will lose money sometimes. But the idea is, don't give up. Dive back in, learn from your mistakes. Don't give up. Stop asking why not. Oftentimes when we leave college, we stop asking the big questions, why and why not. Don't do that. Figure out why it doesn't work, why it works. Continue asking that question. What got you where you are quality coaches, your parents, your teachers, your coaches, your friends. Keep that going as you progress through the investing career. Don't be scared. Perhaps one of the greatest examples for me of someone who was fearless was when I was a judge at the Miss Teenage America contest. And it was clear one of the contestants had only learned their talent 2 or 3 days before, and it was baton twirling. Part of her act involved throwing one up into the air. She threw the baton up into the air, and magically it got stuck up in the rafters or the wires way above the stage. Now, this is where the decision point comes, where everybody can either walk off the stage and claim hardware failure or something, or what she did, and this is where she truly became fearless. She invented a baton that she could twirl very quickly, and behind her back, up in the air, down her sleeve, back. She turned into an amazing baton twirler, so amazing that she created a second baton to twirl. The gentleman behind me turned to his wife and said, Ethel, she's twirling them so fast I can't even see them. And that's when you truly have a fearless investor.